Dear viewers, welcome again to the analysis of Yoleno TV, and I would like us to go to this crisis that is looming within the DCI department, because there is a claim by one John Gachuma, and by the John Gachuma is a senior assistant inspector general of police and is also the director of investigation bureau at the DCI. Now, John Gachuma is saying that he was forced to sign a document to implicate Judge SANKOLI KANTAI into the murder of the Dutch businessman TOB COHEN. It is remembered that the Dutch tycoon was murdered in 2019, and the missing body was later recovered under the ground tank in his home in Kitusuru, Spring Valley in Nairobi. So by that time, the DPP had requested, that is Nurudeen Haji, had requested for evidence to be furnished to him so that he could prosecute that case. But it was alleged that most of the evidences that were being presented were only presented in the media, but DPP was kept in the dark. So the claims back then that almost saw the two departments, the DCI and the DPP, come at loggerheads over this case, was as a result of the evidences not furnished to the DPP's office. That was the time when, if you remember very well, that the DPP and the DCI were not on the same page, and it was evident in the public that they were not on the same page. And the main reason was the murder case of TOB COHEN. Now, before we get deep into what the DPP said back then, please take a moment and subscribe to Yoleno TV if you are not subscribed before. Now, this is a statement that the DPP said back then, that despite having sought further information, material and evidence directly, the DCI has failed or refused or neglected to execute his mandate and duties and to respond as required in the law. And what does the law require the DCI to do? The law requires that the DCI to furnish the DPP with the evidential material so that the DPP can prepare to execute the case. Now, this case by TOB COHEN was a bit interesting in a way that it involved Sarah Wairimu, and Sarah Wairimu is the widow to TOB COHEN, and she was adversely named in that case. And at one point, you remember very well that there was a case whereby the inheritance was not allocated to Wairimu, Sarah Wairimu. And by that, I think you remember very well that TOB COHEN, in his will that he hurriedly wrote days to his demise, he indicated that Gabriella COHEN, who is his sister, was one of the beneficiaries of his wealth, and that Gabriella COHEN was allocated 50% of his wealth, and then 25% was allocated to the two sons or the two children of Gabriella COHEN. And mind you, there was Bernard COHEN, the brother to TOB COHEN, was also allocated part of the beneficiary. He was also made to be one of the beneficiary of TOB COHEN. So the interesting thing about this whole saga is that now DCI is being brought back into this issue, and many people, maybe it could be that it is a deliberate plan by the Kenya Kwanza government to fix, DCI KINOTI, because I started off by saying that DCI KINOTI has not been on the same page with the Kenya Kwanza government. That could explain the reason why now there is an expose from KINOTI's junior, that is John Gachuma. So if the claims that are being laid bare by John Gachuma are anything to go by, then I think George KINOTI will definitely find himself in trouble. I don't think that the Kenya Kwanza government will have mercy for George KINOTI going forward, because these allegations are grave, and implicating a judge like a judge of that caliber into this kind of case is not something that the judiciary will like to take lightly. I think going forward, George KINOTI might find himself in a terrible, terrible hot soup. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this case going forward? Do you think George KINOTI will survive the onslaught that is coming his way going forward? Please share what you think about this below the comment section there. Now, allow me to raise my case there. But please, if you're a first-time viewer who has not subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and subscribe to Yoleno TV. And once again, I'd like to say, stay safe and stay blessed until we meet again for more analysis.